Okay guys, this is the third time I'm doing this video. I'm really sick and tired of it. I just want to get it done. Okay, I make some mistake for first and second time. It's stupid video program. But anyhow, I just grade your test. And there are a couple of questions I think it's worth the time to talk about, and have it on the video is good so you guys can go back and double check it whenever you have to study for the at least for the rigid motion. This is more about the rigid motions, to be honest with you. And the rigid motion, basically for this one, we have to somehow getting that triangle ABC, the one starting over here, mapping it onto the TUV. All right, mapping it onto the TUV. So out of these four answers, I'm going to avoid this one. Because I don't like the rotation. Honestly, I don't like the rotation. Rotation is not fun to work with. So unless the question is packed with rotation that you have to do it, then you just have to do it. But in this scenario, if you look at the other 7, all of them are not rotation. That's what I would do. I'm going to dive in and do the translation, the reflection, because they're much easier to deal with. So instead of like transfer or rotate or do all this rigid motion with every single point, I'm just going to pick one point. So I'm not going to pick E, I'm going to pick C because we like C. So we are going to say, I want to check my C and see if it's going to end up with V, because that mapping has to be correct. So let's do the very first one. Rigid motion means you're going to do this column first, and then you're going to do this other lot. So I'm going to do translation 3, 2. So from here, C is 7, 0. So I'm doing a 3, 2. That means I'm adding 3 over here, which is 10, and then adding 2 over there, which is 2. So my C prime is somewhere outside, and it's going to be a 2. Way over here. Sorry, way over there. There. So way over there. So after this, I'm going to do a reflection when x is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0, way over there. Wherever you go, x has to be 0. So when y is 1, x is 0. When y is 2, x is 0. So that's how you figure out what line you have to reflect. So it has to be this one. We're going to reflect this point. So if we can count, we know that it's going to be 10 points over there. We're going to end up with like a negative 10. Negative 10, all the way outside of my diagram. That is not my V. Goodbye, A. So couple of things to just keep in mind. You are going to do the one on the right first, and being able to draw the x is equal to 0, that's the key of this question. Okay, next one. We are going to do another transform. We're going to do y is equal to 3. So this time, try to find y is equal to 3 first. It's going to be here. Doesn't matter where you go. When x is 1, y is 3. So wherever you go, y is going to be 3. So that is the point, that is the line we are trying to reflect. It's not perfect. We are going to do it. So we are going to do this point, we're going to reflect. I'm going to reflect 1, 2, 3, 3 points, 1, 2, 3. So ended up here. This is the mirror sitting there, equal distance. You'll get up there. And then we're going to do another reflection. So we're done with this. We're going to do another reflection when x is equal to 1. X is equal to 1 is over here. So after that, we're going to do this reflection. So we are reflecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. Even before you draw this, you know that it's not going to be your V. So that's also out. So we can say goodbye to C. Okay, last one. Let's do the green. This time we want to do a reflection. X is equal to 1 first. X is equal to 1. X is equal to 1. So, okay, so this is my line of reflection. 7, 0. 7, 0 is over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Count how many boxes from your point you want to reflect to your line of reflection. how many again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we ended up way over here. And then we are doing a translation, 1, 2. So move 1 to the right, move up 2, ended up with V. There you go. So that's how I would do it. Now, but some of us may not want to skip the rotation. And it's also worth mentioning, so just in case you have run into a question that actually comes with rotation, and if you don't know how to do it, then we have a problem. So rotation, what color should I pick? Just pick the purple or black. If you're doing rotation, you have to remember a couple mapping. So rotation by 90 degrees at the origin counterclockwise, just keep that in mind. This is by default counterclockwise. If they want clockwise, they will have a negative 90 instead. So this one is a counterclockwise. So the mapping actually says, if you have your original x and y, or the coordinates start with x and y, you are going to map yourself to negative yx. All right. So this is one of the two, I would say, very important rotation to remember. Instead of drawing it is quite tricky. It takes a lot of time. The other one is rotation by 180 degrees. This one, it doesn't matter whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise. You're going to get this mapping. XY going to map to negative x and negative y. Okay. When we were doing the rigid motions previous chapter, I think, like the chapter before, is something that before the summative, people actually remember this, but it's been altogether 2 weeks and people cannot remember. So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do the rotation first. So my 7, 0, I'm going to map it to, you are going to switch the x and y, so I'm going to have 0 and 7, and I'm going to put a negative in front of it. So negative 0 means nothing, so I don't really have to do the negative 0, so I'm just going to keep that as 0, 7. So 0, 7 is going to be way over here, is 4, 6, is going to be up top a little bit, it's outside of the diagram already, and then I'm going to move 1, 0, I'm going to move 1 space. So it ended up over here, it's nowhere close to my B, so this is not the answer. Okay, this is not the answer. However, I do notice that this question is a little bit tricky. It depends on which point you pick. If you pick, let's say A, if you pick A, let's just do A. Erase this. We are going to pick A because most people would pick A because it starts with A. So you're trying to test if it's going to get to T over here. So if I pick A, I'll have 4, 2. So I'm doing this rotation now, negative 2, 4. Negative 2, 4 is way over here. And then you do a 1, 0. 1, 0, negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1, 4. So negative 1, 4, it ended up at your T. So if you pick A, then you have a problem. If you actually pick A to start this off, you may have to check another point. So we did C, so we noticed that C is not going to map to V. However, if you actually start with A, then you will end up with T. So you have to be really careful about these kind of things. And Vision is lovely. I love to work with it. They like to just put a question in there to kind of mess with you a little bit. But it's always nice to check all the points, but it depends on the time. If, I would not check all 3 of them. If you check 2, you always get that. If you pick one of the points, it's not going to work. That rigid motion is not going to work. So this is the very first video. There's still like 3 other questions that I would like to talk about. They're all pretty much the same, but I'm not going to do it in this video because I'm running out of time. And because I have not been doing anything for the geometry, I've been doing video for Algebra 1 and I've been doing video for Algebra 2. So I think I should do one for you guys. And the test is very useful. So I will stop for now and just wait on the other 3 questions. I want to go over them with you guys. Okay, bye for now.